telling me an error is occurring and it's not showing my picture. Just give me 1 minute. This is annoying. I've never had this happen before, so I'm not too sure what. Okay, fantastic. We're live now, both on TikTok and on YouTube. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It is Free Voice Lesson Thursday. My name is Tara, your resident harmony nerd. I'm a professional singer based in New York City, as well as a music educator, composer, and content creator. Welcome. I learned pretty quickly on in my content creation journey, which I started about a year ago, that music education is there's a thirst for this knowledge that it's often kept behind a paywall, and I'm here to change that. So, welcome, welcome. Every Thursday, I give free voice lessons on both TikTok Live and YouTube Live. And there will be a topic for each week. Today's topic is vocal registers. We're going to specifically talk about mixed voice because I think that it confuses quite a lot of people. But we're going to kind of demystify it today. Now, it is a more advanced technique, so if you are new to singing and you don't get it today, that's okay. Be gentle with yourself, keep trying. Singing is a motor skill, and I don't think that this is common knowledge. A motor skill is a fine motor skill, right? Something that you train your body to do. Writing with a pen is a fine motor skill. Playing a sport is a motor skill. So singing, just like those things, is a motor skill, which means it can be taught, it can be learned, okay? You don't have to just like magically be born with talent in order to do the thing. So, welcome. Um, Go ahead and hit that like button. If you're here with me today, you can double tap the screen on TikTok or give me a thumbs up over on YouTube. And we're going to get started in just one moment. I'd like to share with you the other offerings that I have weekly. I have Music Theory Monday and Ear Training Tuesday. These are sister sessions. We learn some music theory on Monday, and then we repeat that. Not repeat, but we take the knowledge that we learned from Music Theory Monday and we apply it to Ear Training Tuesday. Hey, Dina, good morning, thank you. Or good evening for you, I think. But thank you. And then warm up Wednesdays, I walk you through my warm up routine as a professional singer so that you can develop your own. We have free voice lesson Thursdays. I also do something called Frequency Friday. We don't have one this week. I have a busy day tomorrow and some gigs this weekend. So the next offering will be Music Theory Monday, but there will be a Frequency Friday next week. And Frequency Fridays are kind of like the soul piece, right? Because singing is a full mind, body, soul experience. And so we have to make sure that our mindset is correct. Okay, so Frequency Friday is about having a great mindset. Okay, hi everybody, welcome. Okay, so I am having just a little bit of trouble focusing. You might have noticed I misspoke quite a few times. So I'm just going to take a minute and settle myself and ground and refocus. Take a couple deep breaths. And if you're someplace where you're watching this and you're able to just take a beat for yourself as well, I definitely encourage you to. I'm bringing myself into my space, feeling my feet on the floor, my butt on the chair. I can feel my hand pressed against my chest. I hear the ambulance outside. I wonder if you all hear it too. I tell you, the second the weather gets nice in New York City, all you hear is sirens. Like everybody goes crazy. There's just sirens all the time. People lose their ish because they're so happy that it's not cold. I'm sure the cold is coming back for us, but it's been a nice week here in Brooklyn. Good. And if you're planning to sing with me today, to work with your mixed voice, you do need to be very warmed up for that. So, starting with deep breaths and stretching is a great way to warm up. Maybe welcome some sirens. Start to hum, gentle hums. Awakening the voice. La 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 la. Okay. And if you're able to perform some warm-ups on your own while I start walking you through vocal registers, I think that's a great idea. Okay. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Hi, Abtomla. Hi, Val. Hi, Dina. Who else is here today? Thank you for all the likes. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up consistently. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube yet, please go ahead and do that. I greatly appreciate it. All right. What are vocal registers? Does anybody have an idea of what that means? Would you please drop your understanding of a vocal register in the comments? And it's also okay if you don't know at all. I'm just curious where we're starting from. Okay. Vocal registers, what are they to you? What do you understand them as? Tomla doesn't know anything about vocal registers. That's all right. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So vocal registers is an interesting subject. Singing in general is an interesting subject. The range of tones someone can sing. Yeah, kind of. Vocal registers, it's kind of up for debate, right? Some people say there's 4, some people say there's 5 or more. Vocal pedagogy is interesting because the science is constantly changing. We're constantly learning more about what's going on in here. So I'm going to walk you through what I consider to be the 3 primary vocal ranges. But I'm just prefacing it with this so that if you hear other information elsewhere, that you don't necessarily just shun it. Research, do your research, okay? All right. Just 1 second here. I think I might have gotten booted off YouTube. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, it's still working. It's just very laggy. I'm having trouble with YouTube today. That's all right. Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 primary vocal registers today. And the first one is what we call chest voice. And this is what I would consider our lower voice. There technically is a lower register vocal fry, right? But we're going to work with chest voice today, okay? And chest voice is our low voice. It's very similar to our speaking voice. When you want to find your own singing voice, you are going to find it from your speech, right? If I started singing what I'm talking to you, this is likely the closest to my natural voice, okay? Then we also have a head register or a higher register, can also be called falsetto. There is a difference in the anatomy of like vocal fold pressure between falsetto and head voice. Different muscles working depending on the pitch. Yes, Dina, that's correct. Head voice is really light and there's no musculature engagement. We're working from, well, there is muscular engagement. You wouldn't be able to make sound without it. But the engagement comes mostly from the ligaments in the vocal instrument And this cricoid thyroid muscle is pulling the vocal folds long and thin so they reflect like the highest string on the guitar, okay? Long and thin, and then we get this kind of light, airy, Mickey Mouse sounding voice, okay? So that's our lower register and our higher register, and then there's one in the middle. And this is called mix, the ethereal mix voice that I think confuses a lot of people, but comes naturally to most people. I think that a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves to find their mix voice, and I think that's because elite belting, that high belt like that Ariana Grande does, or Broadway stars do, or Disney princesses do, that is what we call a mixed belt. But mixed voice doesn't have to be a belt, right? And I do find that when I'm walking singers through finding their vocal registers, that a lot of them naturally mix without knowing that they're even doing it. Okay, so if you're going to work through this with me today, then I definitely gently encourage you to explore the sounds you're already making and try to figure out if maybe you could naturally be making a mixed sound, okay? And what exactly is this mixed sound? We call it a mix because it mixes some chest voice and some head voice. And the percentages are up to you. When you gain really great vocal control, you can have a mix that is 50-50 chest and head voice. Or you could have what we would call a chest dominant mix, which would mean you have more chest voice than head voice. For example, 60% chest voice, 70% chest voice, 80% chest voice, and only 20% head voice. And then we can also have, on the opposite end of that, we can also have a head dominant mix, which is going to be more heavy on the head voice with a little bit of chest voice weaved in, such as 60, 70, 80% head voice, 20% chest voice. Okay, does all that information make sense? I'm going to pause here for a moment for questions on any of the three primary registers that we're talking about today in order to hopefully find our mix. Okay, so now we're going to do some exercises at home. I want you to find all three of these registers, okay? So first we're going to work with chest voice, then we're going to work with head voice, and then we're going to see if we can find our mix. So, chest voice, I want you to say, get out, like you have a really annoying sibling who keeps coming in your bedroom and you're a very moody teenager and all you want is for your younger sibling to leave you alone. I like to point my finger and get real mad about it, and really helps with vocal fold closure, which is what we are going for with chest voice. We want those vocal folds pressed together. Get out! Go away! Get out! Okay? Now I want you to do it again, and I want you to, instead of focusing on saying get out, try to say it the same way, but focus on what you're feeling inside your vocal instrument, okay? You want to feel that the vocal folds are pressed tightly together, but you don't want tension, okay? And this is a delicate balance to strike. If you're brand new to this, it probably isn't going to happen for you today, but we're going to try, all right? So closing the eyes maybe, if you feel comfortable doing that, because sometimes for me, removing the visual stimulus helps me understand and feel what's going on in my throat better. And we're going to say get out one more time. Get out. Sometimes even putting your hand on your throat can feel nice because then you get some kind of information, and the sense of touch can also help draw your attention towards your throat. One more time. Get out. Okay? Now we're going to turn this into a vocal exercise. Oh, but I have to turn the amp on. Excuse me. High voices here, low voices here. Get out, get out. That's what we're gonna sing, okay? So we're trying to bring the same speech-like quality to our get out, but now we're just singing it. Get out, okay? Get out. Doesn't have to sound pretty. We're looking to make friends with our chest voice, not to sound pretty, okay? Get out. Get out. out. If it gets too high for you, stop. Get out. Get out. Back down. Get out. 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 I'll keep going in case your voice is lower than mine. Last one. Cool. Any observations from that? Was it difficult for you? How did you do? I would love to hear some feedback in the comments. Do we feel like we were able to access our chest voice? Right? Because we have to be able to access our chest voice and we have to be able to access our head voice separately before we can even try to mix them. And that's why mixing is a little more of an advanced technique. But like I said too, a lot of people do it naturally as well. I know that you have made mixed voice sounds in your life. You just don't know that you have. Okay. Ready to move on to head voice? I want everybody to sigh like you're a Disney princess. Ah, really airy and light. Ah. Okay. Ah. Don't do too many in a row too close. I just got dizzy. Okay. And now, similar to what we do with chest voice, we're going to turn this into a vocal exercise, okay? Let's start here. High voices are going to start here. Low voices are going to start here. Or if you're a very low voice, you can start way down here, okay? But we still want to bring this light, airy quality to it. So we're going to go, take a little break before we head back down because I'm sending a lot of air through my vocal folds and I'm getting a little lightheaded. So if you are too, that's fine. Just pause when you need to pause. Always make sure you have water on hand when you're singing. Fun fact, it takes about 4 to 5 hours for hydration to reach the vocal folds because the body is prioritizing your vital organs first. Okay, so you want to be drinking little sips of water all day. And if you have any sort of vocal performance or you know you're going to do a lot of vocal practice, make sure you start hydrating 4 hours beforehand if you can. All right, let's go back down. Ha! Do a couple ha's. Ha! Get ready, here we go. Again, not pretty necessarily. We're just trying to find the head voice quality. How do we do? Let me know in the comments. Do you feel like you were able to access your head voice? Do you feel like you were able to access your chest voice? And I would love to know which one's harder for you because it's different for every single person. Would you just drop chest or head in the comments if you felt like your chest voice was harder? Drop the word chest. And if you felt like your head voice was harder for you, drop the word head voice or head. This is great information for us. It's not good or bad. It's just really excellent information for us to see where we're starting from. And some people naturally speak in kind of a heavier, chestier speaking voice. My voice is like that. And then some people kind of speak in this mixed voice that we're going to be getting into. I'm from Syracuse, New York, so a lot of people talk like this, okay? And that's a very mixed sound. And then some people have like lighter voices and they talk kind of higher pitched, and there's less vocal fold engagement. And somebody who speaks more like this is probably going to have an easier time with head voice, okay? So awesome. So Abtomla is head voice dominant, Val is chest voice dominant. So this is just important to notice as we're learning to mix. Val, you're going to want to lean towards a chest heavy mix, and Abtomla, you're probably going to lean more towards a head heavy mix. And this is fine. It just means you probably are going to need to spend a little more time working with the register that is not natural to you. Okay? How do we mix? Now, in order to mix, we need a really forward placement. And the terms placement are, you know, as we're learning more about the voice and everything, it's a little sketch. So let me explain to you what I mean when I say placement. So when we create sound, the sound is obviously created from air passing through our vocal folds, okay? So the sound is created, it originates from here, okay? But where it resonates is what I'm considering placement. We can send the resonance to different areas of our body. For instance, chest is called chest voice because it resonates more low towards the chest. And head voice is called head voice because it resonates higher, more in the head. Okay? So when we are mixing, where we want to pull and draw the resonance is to the mask of our face. Okay, and the mask of our face is like up here near the sinus cavity where there's a lot of bone. And the reason the resonance sounds so nice in what we call the mask of the face is because there's a lot of bone. So there's a lot of solid space for the, hey Jeffrey, there's a lot of solid space for the vibrations to bounce around, right? Think of it like, I'm sure you've seen TikTok videos or YouTube videos where somebody's singing in a parking garage or a stairwell. And that's because think about how the walls of those places are similar to bone, right? It gives the sound a lot of opportunity to bounce around and create a really lovely resonance. So that is what we're doing, but in our face, okay? And a lot of phlegm congestion, so need to clear by cough. Yeah, and especially when we just start first singing for the day, there's probably a lot of phlegm and congestion, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere where it's currently winter still. So it's really good to just kind of sing through it. If it makes you cough, you know, allow your body to do what it needs to do. But if you can sing through the phlegm, that's great because it'll just move it, right? It's stuck on the vocal fold. So if you just keep singing, it'll push the phlegm out of the way if you can. And if you need to cough, that's okay too. All right. How do we create a mixed voice sound? I want everybody to go, wah, like you're a baby. Wah, 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 wah. Or maybe like you're a bully on the playground and you're making fun of somebody, calling them a crybaby. Wah, wah, wah. All right. Go ahead and do that at home. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Okay? I am really drawing the voice forward, drawing the resonance forward, creating what we call a twang sound. A lot of people refer to this as nasally. It is not technically nasally. However, if that language works for you and it helps you create the sound, then use it, okay? I'm not going to tell you not to call it nasally if you're able to get it when you call it nasally and you're not able to get it when you don't, okay? But technically speaking, this is called twang, okay? Wah, wah, wah. Okay, and now, just like we did with everything else, we're going to start singing it. Hold please. Let's do a triad. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. High voices, low voices. And we're starting so that the low notes of this exercise are technically more in a chest register. But try to see if you can keep that really twangy wah, wah, wah sound even lower in your voice. You want to be able to take this technique as far up in your range and as far down in your range as you can, okay? Here we go. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Now, notice how obnoxious I sound. This is not supposed to sound good. We are leaning into it. We want to sound as gross and as obnoxious as we can, okay? When we're learning a new vocal technique, we want to take it as far as we possibly can so that we have the far end of the spectrum, and then naturally we have the other end of the spectrum because that's where we're starting from. So when you're developing new vocal techniques, you want to push it to the limits because then you have where you started from, you have the limit, and that means you get to play with all the gray area in between. Am I ever going to sing a song like this? Probably not. But I know that I have access to it if I need it, okay? Notice also how my mouth is shaped. Do you want to think like you're biting an apple, pull the corners of your mouth back? That's going to help you get this really forward placement. If you're brand new to this and you're having trouble, place your fingers on the bridge of your nose. Don't pinch, just gently rest them here, okay? And I can feel my nose scrunching up into my fingers when I do this, okay? And I'm showing my top teeth, all right? Try to mimic what my face looks like, and that might help you find the sound if you're having trouble finding it. Here we go. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. If it gets too high for you, drop out. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Two more. My poor neighbors. They're probably like, oh my God. I hope nobody's working from home today. Sorry, friends. All right. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. Do you feel like you were able to access that sound? How do we do? Do you feel like you got it, or do you feel like you need some more help? If you feel like you got it, go ahead and double tap the screen on TikTok or give me a thumbs up on YouTube so that I know that we got it. Aptoma is good to go. Awesome. Val gave a like. Val, does that mean you're good? Double tap if the answer is yes. Okay, awesome. Oh, Tina's good. Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right. Fantastic. So now let's do another exercise besides the wah is we can use a nyan, nyan, nyan or a meow. These are all really good for finding your mixed voice. So I would love, is there a song, like a really well-known song, a popular song that anybody is working on where they want to access this mixed register but they're having trouble? If not, I will pick one. No big deal. I actually am working with Firework by Katy Perry. I have to sing it this weekend. So maybe we can work with that song. Jeffrey says, interesting subject today. Yeah, we're talking about vocal registers. And we are discovering our mixed voice. Cool. Okay, so I'm doing Firework. Let me just grab my iPad so I remember what key I'm doing it in. Beep. Want to make sure we practice in our right key. Does everybody know Firework? I'm assuming we do. It's a pretty popular song, right? Thanks for being patient. My iPad is taking her time. All right, found it. Got it, got it. Okay. Firework, I'm doing an F sharp. Baby, you're a firework. Okay, and now I need to do the lyrics because I don't have it memorized. All right. Okay. You just gotta ignite. Okay, so let's start. We're gonna start with what am I going to call this? The pre-chorus. Okay, so songs always have a form to them, and they're often like an A section and a B section, or you might call this a verse and a chorus. There's usually a bridge, and sometimes there's a pre-chorus. So for Firework, this part I consider the pre-chorus, and then the chorus is because baby, you're a firework. Okay, so we're going to just sing through the pre-chorus and the first half of the chorus, and then we are going to try to apply this mixed voice singing to this chorus, okay? You just gotta ignite. So remember, we're really forward. We're not trying to sound good. We're trying to produce a twangy mix sound. Ignite the light and let it shine just on the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Okay, so we're trying to bring this super brassy, twangy, some might say nasally quality to the song, okay? How did you do with that? Was that hard to do at first? I'm going to show you a trick, how you can apply mixed voice to a song you're working on, okay? We're just going to start from the Baby You're a Firework part of the chorus, okay? And we're going to sing it on wah, like we just did that vocal exercise on wah, okay? Excuse me. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, so that was hyper twangy, all right? So the next step is, can you leave everything in the exact same place? Your face, your larynx, your chest, like your whole body. Can you get it in this wah space and leave everything right here, but now sing the lyrics instead of wah? 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Oh my gosh, this is so obnoxious. Do you sound obnoxious? Let me know. You should. Okay? How did that go? Were you able to find that super twangy, obnoxious sound? If so, that's amazing. And if you didn't get there yet, that's okay. Go back and sing the wah wah wahs instead of the lyrics, and then keep going back and forth until your body figures out how to maintain the forward placement with the lyrics, okay? What is the next step? Because obviously I'm not going to go to somebody's wedding and perform Firework like that. So the next step is to, now that I know I have the technique in my body, in my skill set, the next step is to take a step back so that it sounds the way I want it to, okay? I'm going to give you an example of this by starting very nasally, very twangy, and then slowly stepping off the gas, okay? So that I end up with a clear, balanced sounding mix, okay? Here we go. Wah! 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go up as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Okay? And did you see how when I just went back up, I squeezed my face? Because when I'm going back high again, I need to like reset my vocal placement, my resonance placement. Not vocal placement. The voice comes from here. The resonance placement. Excuse me. Does that make sense? Do we have any questions? Questions? Does anybody want to hop on the live, the multi-guest, and work on this for 5 minutes or so with me? It's amazing. Glad you think so, Paco. It's a great technique. And when we pull the resonance forward into the mask of our face, we take so much pressure off the throat, right? Because if I'm trying to squeeze my chest voice up that high, watch how much tension I have. Baby, you're a firework. It feels like I'm shouting. It feels so awful in my throat. I think you could see my veins popping out. So that is why we don't want to just try to scream and pull our chest voice up. Okay? All right. I'll ask one more time if anybody on TikTok wants to hop on the multi-guest and work on this technique. If you're volunteering, let me know in the comments. And if everybody's feeling shy today, that's okay too. This is where belting should come from most of the time, Paco. Great question. So Paco asked, is this where belting comes from? Sometimes, yeah. So belting has two qualifiers. One is that the vocal folds are pressed really tightly together. It's loud, right? And how it becomes loud is by really pressing the vocal folds firmly together, and then there's a lot of air, but the air is not escaping that much because the vocal folds are pressed so firmly together. So technically, a belt sound is a chest voice sound. Anatomically speaking, I'm going to say most humans, I'm sure there is some exception to the rule somewhere, but we can't belt in a full chest sound much above an A4 to a C5, depending on the anatomy of the person who's doing it. So when we start to hear those really high belty sounds like Katy Perry, that chorus just started on a C#5, which is higher than I know my chest voice can go and most people's chest voice can go. So that's where this technique that we've been looking at today called mixed belting comes from, or it comes into play, because what we're essentially doing is we're tricking the human ear into thinking that we're creating a belting sound when really we're creating a mixed sound that is powerful enough that it tricks the ear into thinking that it's a belt. And this is something that, like, it can also be called a leap belt. This is something that like Broadway singers use, and pop stars, Ariana Grande, Celine Dion. I'm trying to think of like who else has. Sia has a crazy high belt. Can you think of any other artists? I feel like it's so popular. You really can't be a pop star these days unless you have a high mixed belt. I know, because I couldn't do my job without a high mixed belt, singing top 40 gigs with agencies and stuff. Like, it's pretty much a must have if you want to work in the pop industry or the top 40 industry. Adele, yep, Gaga, for sure. Yes. Adele really has a chesty belt. She does use her mix, of course, but she can bring her chest voice quite high. And I think a lot of times, too, it sounds lower than it actually is with Adele, because she has such like a gristle to her voice. Forgive me, my language isn't quite with me right now, but huskiness, that's what I was looking for. She has this kind of natural huskiness to her voice. Gaga's a great example. All right, my friends, are there any other questions? I'm going to sign off within the next 5 minutes. Take a minute, write your questions in the chat if you have any, and in the meantime, I will talk through my offerings. So my name is Tara. If you're new here, I'm a professional singer, music educator, composer, content creator. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York, and this is the Harmony Nerd community. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of it. My mission statement is to offer excellent free music education because it's often kept behind a paywall. And the way that I keep it free is from support. So you can support me for free by liking my content, by following me on TikTok, by subscribing to my YouTube, like, share, follow, all the good things. Um, if you are able to send a tip, I have a tip button in my link tree. You can click on that. It'll give you information for Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle. Any amount helps keep Harmony Nerd content free. Same thing, if you're on TikTok Shop and you want something from my showcase, all that affiliate stuff helps out too. I also have a shop link on my link tree. It's a bunch of different products from Amazon that I use to help me sing. There's also some really interesting books like available, like This Is Your Brain on Music, which is the neuroscience of music. So and No Bad Parts, which is internal family systems, which I think is a really great system to use if you deal with nerves. So anyway, check out the shop tab in my link tree. I'm hopeful that next week, definitely by the week after, I'm going to start to have study guides available so that whatever our topic is for the day, you can purchase the study guide for a few dollars. And then that way you have a PDF, something written down so you can take notes if you want to print it out, or it'll just kind of help you take all the music theory knowledge and all the singing knowledge that we're learning in these free sessions together and like give you a way to hold on to the information. Jeffrey asks, is the mixed voice easier on your vocal folds when you sing? Yes. Great question, Jeffrey. Mixed voice it takes the pressure off of your throat and helps pull it up into the resonant space in the mask of the face. Yes, you're very welcome, Abtomla. Paco says, I'm glad I caught the tail end today. I never heard about mixed voice years ago. Yeah, well, Paco, the replay is available on YouTube. So if you want to watch the whole thing, you can go to my YouTube. It's the same handle, or you can find it in my link tree. And it'll be posted as soon as the video processes. They automatically post after I end the stream. And it might behoove you to watch the part about what is chest voice and what is head voice, because mixed voice is a combination of the two. Love the study guide idea. Thank you. So I've been slow because I am new to running my own business. So I'm like figuring out branding and color schemes and how to use Canva. But I think I'm finally there. Like, I have the information, right? I'm a great teacher. I'm a good educator. I know the information I want to share, but like packaging it in something pretty to ask people to purchase it is new to me. So this is why it's taking me a minute to get these together. But I'm hopeful that I actually made some really good progress yesterday. So I'm hopeful that I will figure this out and these will be available sooner more than later. Val says, thank you for explaining the ranges. My teacher never did. Well, that's not great. I'm sorry to hear that. It's pretty important to understand your registers for sure. Some registers we didn't talk about today are vocal fry, which is technically the lowest, right? And that's this like creaky door sound. And then there's whistle register as well, right? Which is like Mariah Carey whistle tones. That's right. Thanks for the reminder. Yep, you're very welcome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. You're a designer. Very cool. I love that. I love that. I joke around that all of my gifts went to my singing and music brain, and I have no visual gifts. Phil says, yeah, but I also did opera, so it might be kind of different. Yeah, you wouldn't use a mixed voice in opera, so that makes sense, Val. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it, because at first I was like, huh? Cool. All right, lovely humans. I love music and art too. Yes. I went to the Brooklyn Museum last week. I haven't been in a little while. It was really fantastic. Okay, my loves. I will see you Monday. No Frequency Friday this week. We have Music Theory Monday next week, and the topic is building musical intervals in the major scale. So I'm going to teach you how to build every single musical interval that exists within a major scale. I'm going to give you the formulas. So that'll be Music Theory Monday this week. And then Ear Training Tuesday is going to be ear training, singing the intervals descending from high to low, because we did ascending this past week from low to high. Okay. We'll do a warm-up Wednesday next week. And then voice lesson Thursday. I haven't decided what the topic will be, but there will be another one next week. And I am in the process of moving, so these sessions might not be every day through the month of March as I prepare to move. But just keep your eye on my profile. If you're on TikTok, you can pre-register for the live events. If you're on YouTube, you can click the notify me button to be notified when I go live. I do pre-schedule all of my lives. So if you check them out on my profile, whatever platform you're on will show you what time I'm going live in your time zone. I'm often 15 minutes late, but I will always be here. If for some reason I can't be here, check my stories. Like if you're waiting for me and you're like, where's Tara? If there's not a story canceling it, it's still on. Okay? So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. See you next week. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.